Yes, sir.
Welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Danish Moin, Department of History, Maulana Azad, National Urdu University, Hyderabad. Today's subject is Indian culture, and the paper which I am going to discuss with you is Indian numismatics. The title of the paper is The Coinage of Early Sultanate and Introduction. In this paper, the basic objective of this thing is to understand the coins of early Sultanate of India. This include Amir of Sindh, Ghaznavid, Ghalid, Mamluk. These dynasties introduced a new coinage tradition of India which followed both Islamic and Indian coinage tradition. First, we have to discuss what is Islamic coin tradition and what is the concept of local tradition. When you talk about Islamic coin tradition, they have a fixed type of information, that is the coins which has inscriptional base, that Arabic inscription is there, and there are lot of information, more information are available. While the earlier coins in India were issued without pictorial, without inscriptional, and they were not having much inscription. And when we study the coins of this period, particularly Islamic coins, we find two types of information are appearing. One is religious information and other is secular information. Religious information include Kalma, the basic creed of Islam, and then second point which we can say the name of Caliph, both Abbasid Caliph and Great Caliph. Third, we also find sometimes the religious title of the rulers. Fourth, we also notice Quranic verses, but of course Quranic verses is not appearing in all the coins. A few coins have been reported. When we discuss secular information, it generally includes issuing ruler's name, sometime with the name of the father and grandfather, the date and mint's name. That is the information we are coming. Most important, the date generally appears in Hijri era, is the Islamic calendar, both in numerals and word. Sometimes the mint which we had discussed just now spoke to you are mentioned with their epithets, such as Bahazrat Delhi, Darul Mulk Delhi, Darul Khalafa Agra. These are the epithets of the mint, so we also find. Now coming to the coins of Amir of Sindh. First we have to discuss Sindh was captured by Muhammad bin Sam in 712 CE, and it was from this period onwards we have this area, particular area of Sindh, came under the control of Muslim rulers, and it was governed by Umayyad Caliph sitting in Arab. And this is the period when we notice a new type of coins in India, that is Islamic type coins. Islamic type coins were introduced in India by Amir of Sindh, and there are a number of Amir who had issued. Practically these Amir were independently. Of course, they were under the control of Umayyad Caliph, but if you see, though, practically they were independent. So Ali, Muhammad, Abdul Rahman, Abdullah, these are the name of Amir. Their coins have been reported and their coins have been shown to you. These are very tiny, small silver coin, and it weigh around 0.5 grams. This is the coins. These coins are reported from Sindh, particularly Pakistan region presently. Some of the coins are also reported from this region of Rajasthan in India, that is also there. Now coming to the second dynasty, which is called coins, the Ghaznavid dynasty. When we discuss Ghaznavid dynasty, we have to understand into two manners. One is the coins of Ghaznavid and Mahmud Ghazni, and other is the coins of the successor of Mahmud Ghazni. When we talk about the coins of Mahmud Ghazni, it is very interesting. The coins of not many coins of Mahmud Ghazni have been noticed in India. His silver coins, dirham, issued from India, however, are significant insofar as they are bilingual coins bearing inscription in Arabic and Sanskrit, written in Arabic and Sarda script respectively. These coins were issued from Lahore, which was named Mahmudpur by Mahmud in AH of 418 or 419. The two dates are known. The coins of Mahmud Ghazni bear kalma, this coin which I am discussing, followed by legend Amirul Dawla wa Amirul Millat Bismillah al Dirham Zarb be Mahmudpur Sana Hijri 418, sometime 419. And the Sanskrit translation in Devanagari, in Sharda, is written in Sharda, of kalma, that is Avyaktam Ekam Muhammad Avatar Nirpati Mahmud and Ayam Tankam Hata Mahmudpur Samvati 418 or Avam Tankam Mahmud Ahatika Tajir Samvat 418 or 490. That is very important. The coins which we are discussing, which I explained you, is 3-4 important point to note. The first very example is that these are the coins, this is the coin which was introduced in India, which has first important thing is that this is it has important significance, the coins, because this is the first time we are noticed, for the first time we have been noticed coins with the bilingual, that was Arabic and Sanskrit. Bilingual coins have been reported earlier also, but we are talking about the Arabic and Sanskrit language. Second point which I also want to make, this is the coin which noticed first time Hijri date on coins. Earlier Hijri date was not known. The first reference of Hijri date we can say this is the first reference of Hijri date. Thirdly, which I said, the mint name became very common in medieval period or Islamic type coins, but the first reference of mint name you can see here only in the coins of Mahmud Ghazni, which we discussed just now. So there are 4 important points which we can take from the Mahmud Ghazni. The third thing which is very interesting is when we discuss the coins of successor of Mahmud Ghazni. Successor of Mahmud Ghazni's coins are more interesting than the coins of Mahmud Ghazni, because this is the period when we have to see a new, the local tradition was adopted by the this is the coin I can just show you. The coin which I discussed with you is where kalma is written, and then same kalma was translated into Sanskrit. Bilingual coin which we are discussing. This is a very important coin. Coins are all the important catalog of Delhi Sultanate and Indian Sultanate has been illustrated these coins. One can see the Mahmud Ghazni coins. Then I was talking about the coins were the second thing, the successor of Mahmud Ghazni. Very interestingly, generally people say the coinage of successor of Mahmud Ghazni was issued on pattern of bull and horseman type. Number 1. Number 2, this type was prevalent in north and northwest part of subcontinent prior to the Ghaznavid invasion. Third, the bull and horseman type coins were introduced by Hindu Shahi ruler of Kabul in 9th century, issued in silver with weight estimate of 3.5. In this, we have to understand 3 major discussion need to be. The first thing is that I was discussing in the earlier sentence that we notice a new type of coinage, that is Islamic coinage, and as well as I discussed one thing, that was local tradition was also adapted. This is the best example of adaptation of local tradition coins. This bull and horseman type coins which we are discussing was issued in India by Hindu Shahi ruler of Kabul. First introduction, 8th century or 9th century AD. When Mahmud Ghazni's successor came to India, particularly particularly the Lahore and Punjab region was under their control, they issued coins in this manner, even without changing the name of the Sarpati Dev, who was the ruler who introduced. So their name is also appearing. But gradually what they did, they have not done it immediately. Gradually, Arabic was introduced on the coins on the bull side, where ruler's name is appearing, Masood or Maudud, whosoever the in charge of that region, who were ruling in that area. So we witnessed the coins wherein his name is appearing. Third is very important thing is subsequently Arabic inscription was replaced. Earlier what happened? They were continuing, but gradually Arabic inscription replaced the horseman, while the bull was retained. I mean, a bull was there. The third coin, such coin may be called bull and legend type. Ultimately, pictorial motif totally disappear, and in their place, Arabic inscription appear on their side. The weight standard, however, remains same. Weight standard means 3.5 gram, which was introduced by Hindu Shahi, that was continued by Ghaznavid also. Here we can have a look of the coins, where we can, these coins have been attributed to Masood, because here Masood can easily be seen on the top side of the horse side, on the top, while reverse side seated bull is seen, and on the top margin we can see the Devanagari inscription written. This was a very interesting coin, and this was primarily issued in silver. 3.5 gram was the weight standard of this coin. Till now we discussed about the coins of Amir of Sindh and Ghaznavid. Now I am going to discuss the coins of Ghurid. Ghurid, when you talk about, we are going to discuss only one ruler, that is Muhammad bin Sam. The coins of Muhammad bin Sam are known both in Islamic and existing local type, known in gold, silver, billion and copper. Like Ghaznavid, Muhammad bin Sam issued bull and horseman type coins. The type is generally known in billion. Billion is alloy of silver and copper, with legend in Devanagari, Sri Muhammad Sam on the one side and Shri Sharif on the other side. The second point which we are going to discuss in the coins of Muhammad bin Sam is the Lakshmi type coins. In the central Indian region, Muhammad bin Sam issued gold coins bearing seated goddess Lakshmi on the one side and Devanagari legend Sri Muhammad Sam on the other. The type then current in central India. It was introduced by Gangadev of Kalachuri. It weighed around 4 gram. The third point, the third slide which I am going to see is the Ghurid coins from Bengal region, particularly Gaur region. Muhammad bin Sam also issued coins from Gaur. It bears Arabic legend on the one side, horse rider with mace on his hand on the other, with the word Gaur Vijay in Devanagari script. The coins was issued to commemorate the victory over Gaur struck by Bakhtiar Khalji in the name of his commander Muhammad bin Sam. Now three types of coins have been discussed with you, explained to you. Now we are going to have a discussion on this. Let's start with the coins of bull and horseman. When I say bull and horseman type coins, this is the type which was the most common currency in northern India right from 9th century, 8th century AD, and it continued for a long period. So I discussed just now, Ghaznavid had issued, particularly successor of Mahmud Ghazni had issued in the same time. When Muhammad bin Sam came to power, when he started ruling this area, he also issued coins in the same manner. Even Devanagari was written on the coins. Bull was there, and then we have horseman on there. So one side he is writing Sri Muhammad Sam, other side he is writing Sri Hamir. Hamir is for Amir. So that is also there in Devanagari. And then why this type of coins were issued by these rulers? This is very important to understand. This is a very important concept to note, that the continuation of type is very important. The present type was issued by the local ruler in India. Had they introduced a new type, it was difficult for the people to accept it. The reason being that currency has always been used for the general masses, and masses were aware with that, acquainted with the coins of bull and horseman, so they simply continue the type. That was the most important reason. And billion became the most important currency of that particular period. The same billion was also known as Dehliwal by contemporary authors, and it was generally known as Jital. If you go by the contemporary chronicles, the Jital term has also been used for this, particularly in Delhi Sultanate. And then we have other type of coins which we call is Lakshmi, we just discussed. You know, when Muhammad bin Sam or Muhammad Gauri captured the area of central India, there are different type of coins were in circulation. So what was the type? That type is known as Lakshmi type. And this Lakshmi type was introduced in India by Kalachuris. So they simply continue the type so people could easily accept it. That was the reason why he had issued coins with depiction of Lakshmi, and then his own name had been written Sri Muhammad Sam. So it was just continuation of type. Now I was supposed to discuss with you the third type, which is the Gaur Vijay type. What is Gaur Vijay type coins? Gaur is a place in Bengal which was captured by Muhammad bin Sam. And of course, Muhammad bin Saab was not there. It was his governor Bakhtiar Khalji who captured this area, and he issued a type of coins. Since Bengal was not having the currency system, a particular currency of that region, so they tried to issue coins in two manners. One side they adopted the local tradition of India, where horse and horse rider can be seen. Other side they started Islamic tradition, where As-Sultan, Al-Azam, Muizuddin Yawaldi, the name of the ruler is written. Most interestingly, which is very interesting, this coin bears in Devanagari Gaur Vijay, and this means the Gaur Vijay, the victory of Gaur. That was the thing, and which is indication of commemorate the victory of Gaur, issued by Muhammad bin Saab. That was Gaur Vijay type coins. It was rare coin. These are not found in good number. A few coins have been reported. Now coming to the next important dynasty, which is called coins of Mamluk dynasty. When we discuss the Mamluk dynasty, we generally come in the Delhi Sultanate, but in this model, what we have done, we have taken in the early Sultanate, because this has one important reason to understand here. In this particular period, we are seeing both the tradition continued, I mean the local tradition as well as Islamic tradition was going on simultaneously. So that is the reason why I am keeping this in this category. After the death of Muhammad bin Saab, his governor Qutbuddin Aibak established Mamluk Sultanate with Delhi as capital in 1206 CE. So the first thing which you can understand is 1230 is the period when Delhi became the Sultanate, Delhi Sultanate which you call it. That is 1206. And Aibak was succeeded by his so-called his son. His name was Aram Shah in 1210. But he was not in position to control for a long period. A few months he was dethroned by Iltutmish, and Iltutmish ascended the throne of Delhi Sultanate. In fact, Iltutmish is being considered as the real founder of Delhi Sultanate. The coinage issued by Iltutmish is also very interesting. I am just going to discuss with you. So first we have to discuss the coins of Aibak as well as Aram Shah. They have not issued coins. They might have issued, but it has not been known so far. Few coins have been attributed earlier, but their attribution has been questioned. So we are generally considering their coins are not known. So we begin with the Mamluk coins from the time of Iltutmish. And of course, Iltutmish is being considered a real founder of Delhi Sultanate. Mamluk of Delhi was ruled by as many as 9 sultans, and it continued till 1290. Iltutmish gave a definite shape to the coinage of Delhi Sultanate, combining Islamic tradition and local tradition. Very interestingly, no coins of Qutbuddin Aibak and Aram Shah has been listed. Earlier, a few coins have attributed to Aibak, but later numismatics questioned their attribution. Iltutmish issued coins in gold, silver, bullion, and copper. It was during his time that the gold and silver coins of about 11 grams term as tanka were introduced. The term tanka, which we call, is generally for the gold and silver coins of Delhi Sultanate. It was introduced by Iltutmish. Bullion coins term as jital was issued in the weight standard of 3.5 grams. Iltutmish was the first ruler of Delhi Sultanate who received decree of investiture from the Abbasid Caliph of Baghdad, whose names are inscribed on Indian coins, on the coins of, particularly in the coins of Iltutmish. Then we have next slide, we can go and we can see the coins. What is very important, if you want to study the coins of Iltutmish, we have to divide into coins in silver and gold pattern. Silver and gold pattern, in this he tried to issue coins on Islamic tradition, very interestingly. In Islamic tradition, I discussed in the very beginning, these coins are bearing religious information, and this religious information is very well visible on the coins where Kalma is seen. I said Kalma is one religious information. And then the second information which I said is appearing the name of Caliph. Again here you can see the name Al-Muntasir is coming on the coins. And one side and other side ruler is writing As-Sultan, Al-Azam, Shamsuddin Yawaldi, Abul Muzaffar, Iltutmish As-Sultan. So one side you have I try to explain you, and that is you can see. Religious information is also available, and now you can see the coins with the secular information. Date is also appearing on the coins in the margin. Mint name is also appearing on the coins. This is one type of coins of silver and gold. Silver coins. Gold coins are reported, but very few coins have been reported, not a good number, but it has been reported. Similarly, the other type of coins which is in silver is very known to Iltamash is wherein no kalma is written, but the name of contemporary caliph, particularly Abbasid caliph Al-Muntasir is visible. He is writing the name with Fi Ahad al-Imam Al-Muntasir Amirul Mu'minin on the one side. This is again the religious information, because name of Al-Muntasir is coming. Why? Al-Muntasir is the caliph of Baghdad, but his name is appearing because it has a religious connection, and that was the reason why we call it religious information. Similarly, when Bengal, of course, Iwaz was the governor of Bengal in the time of Iltamash. He has also issued coins from Bengal and from the same pattern, for same time, which was adopted by Bakhtiar Khalji, which I discussed just now in the time of Muhammad bin Sam. So, but only difference is that if you see the coins of Muhammad bin Sam, where God Vijay is appearing, and in this coins you don't find God Vijay is written on the coins. The reason is very simple, because God was already captured, so no need to write Vijay. So this became the part of Delhi Sultan, was controlled by the governor appointed by Delhi Sultan, by the Iltamash or whosoever the king in this particular. Now coming to the next slide, where we can see the coins of Bilan. In Bilan coins, if you discuss, next slide, if you see Bilan coins, Jittal, which I said in the earlier talk, the Jittal was the Bilan currency, and is a mixed copper and silver, are most common currency of Iltamash. These are mainly reported in Bull and Haussmann type. These are divided as follows: Bull and Haussmann type of Iltamash names in Devanagari, Bull and Haussmann type with the name of Abbasid Caliph Al-Muntasir, horse and Arabic legend. The three type of coins have been, if you study the coins, you can divide into three different types. So one is Bull and Haussmann, then a Bull and legend, and then we have coins on both the sides is happening. Most important thing is that here you find the name of Khalifa, Abbasid Caliph in Devanagari. Earlier we are seeing the name of the Khalifa, only name of the ruler on the coin, but here Iltamash name is also appearing in Devanagari, and the Shri Shalifa is written in Devanagari. Al-Muntasir name is appearing on the coins of Iltamash. This is very interesting, because you have the name on the coins of Khalifa, Abbasid Caliph on Devanagari also. After Iltamash, one of the important rulers which ruled in Delhi Sultanate or Mamluk dynasty was Razia. Razia was the first Lady Empress of India, ascended the throne of Delhi in 1236 after deposition of her brother Ruknuddin Firoz, and ruled till 1240. Her coins are known in silver and Bilan. Like Iltamash and Ruknuddin, she too issued coins in the name of Abbasid Caliph Al-Muntasim, along with her name and title. Her silver coins are divided into two categories: coin issued in the name of Iltamash, inscribed as Fi Ahad al-Imam Al-Muntasir Amirul Mu'minin, with date means As-Sultan Al-Azam Shamsuddin Waldin Iltamash As-Sultan Nusrat. I'm going to explain you, just let me finish what is the basic concept of this. Coin issued in the second type of coin, the coin issued in her own name. It inscribed the Fi Ahad Al-Muntasir Amirul Mu'minin and As-Sultan Al-Azam Shamsuddin Waldin. This is the legend. Her Bilan coins are reported in Haussmann and Arabic legend type. Silver coins with the Caliph Al-Muntasim. This slide you can have a look. Two important points need to be discussed here in this slide. The one important thing is the coins of Razia Sultan was issued in two categories. The first category she has issued where she is using her father's name, calling herself Nusrat, deputy of her father. That is very important to understand. And the second category in which she used to write her own name with Razia Dunya Waldin. And most important, she has also used the name of Abbasid Caliph Al-Muntasir. This is very important for Razia Sultan. Copper bullion coins, when we talk about the bullion coins of Razia Sultan, like all these early rulers have issued coins and bullion horsemen, she too continued with that tradition, not change much. Only thing is that her bull and horseman type coins are not reported, her horseman and legend type coins are reported. So bull from this period onwards is not seen on the coins of Razia. This is a very important point. And secondly, Razia, I said two things we have to remember: the coins which the word Nusrat, and Nusrat is the word for Nasir, like for male it is Nasir and for lady it is Nusrat is there. Next we can have a look of next slide. We can see coins of Balban. Balban is one of the important ruler of Delhi Sultanate. It has to be understood in two categories. He made a lot of changes in the coinage history of India. At least 2-3 important changes has been introduced by Balban. We can see the early coins. If you see the coins of Balban, one important change he has made, he reduced the word fi ahad from the coins. Earlier what happened, all the rulers who were used to issue coins in the name of Khalifa al-Muntasim, they used to write the name al-Muntasim fi ahad in the. The reason being that when he ascended the throne, the Caliph al-Muntasim was died. He was no more alive. He was assassinated by Mongols. So there was, when he came to know that there was no more Caliph al-Muntasim alive, so not to write the word fi ahad, better to write the word al-Imam. The most important thing of this coin has to be noted that even after the death of Khalifa al-Muntasim, his name is appearing in the coins. Why it is appearing? This can be considered as a continuation of the type, because all the earlier ruler, either it is Iltutmish or Razia Sultan, or all of them had issued coins in this manner, so he simply continued. So what he did, he said Al-Imam Al-Muntasir Amirul Mu'minin on the one side, As-Sultan Al-Azam Ghiyasud Dunya Wal-Din Abul Muzaffar Balban As-Sultan on the other side. This was a silver coin. Similar legend can also be seen in the gold. Now coming to the bull and horseman type coins, which is the bullion coins. Bullion coin also witnessed an important changes in this particular period. We have been discussing bull and horseman type coins in bullion. It was discarded from the coins of Balban. It was Balban who stopped depicting bull and horseman coins, but he retained Devanagari inscription. Devanagari was not discarded from the coins. So one side he is writing as Sultan Al-Azam Ghiyasud Dunya Wal-Din, other side Balban in the circle, and in the margin he is writing Devanagari inscription Sri Sultan Ghiyasuddin. And this inscription which he introduced became very common for the next ruler when we are going to discuss in the next module, and in that we can have a discussion on that. So this was about the Balban coins. Now coming to the next slide, these are the two important coins of Balban we can have look. The one is silver coins, another is the bullion coins. This and the next slide we can see. So Balban was the last ruler, in the sense a strong ruler of Mamluk dynasty. After Balban, the empire was not in position to continue for a long period. It was his grandson, whose name was Kaikobad, who ascended the throne in 1287 and continued to rule till 1290. And then he too is known to have issued coins in gold, silver, bullion and copper, and followed the coin type of his grandfather, that is Balban. Mamluk Sultanate, that was weakened considerably during the reign of Kaikobad, and powerful Turks noble dominated the court. After the death of Kaikobad, the noble of court placed Kayumars, a 3-year-old son of Kaikobad, on the throne of Delhi. He ruled 3 months, and in a brief period his copper and silver coins were also known. That was also important, though he ruled for 3 months only, but his coins are reported. But these coins are extremely rare, not found in good number, but Kayumars is reported in the coin, that much is clear. While summarized, we can see important thing. The coins of early Sultanate of India were issued on the pattern of Islamic tradition, wherein inscription became a prime feature and pictorial devices were discarded from the coins. Number 2, coins on new tradition, however, was gradually adopted. That we have to understand gradually. As we have seen, the Ghaznavid and Ghurid and Mamluk issued their coins on local tradition with depiction of bull and horsemen. These rulers even adopted the local script Devanagari on the coins. Interestingly, the period witnessed coins of both tradition, both that is Islamic tradition and Indian coin tradition in circulation. That was very important. And thank you very much. We'll meet again with a new topic and with new titles. For more detail, please visit EPG Pathshala content. Thank you very much.